Daryll Sharp, the first in the ring, 50 professional fights. 45 of them have been on the losing end, but he's only been stopped once, so this will be quite a tough ask this evening for Sean Phillips.
And please welcome his opponent from Kent, Sean Phillips.
Sean Phillips made his professional debut in July 2017. 5 bouts in that time. He's undefeated, he's got 4 wins in a row after drawing his debut as a professional. So undefeated in 2018, looking for a great start to 2019, Sean Phillips. He's actually been sparring with Ted Cheeseman in the build-up to his European title fight that's happening this evening over the city at the O2 Arena. Very exciting young fighter. Now resides in Gravesend.
And he's got my old mate Ray Bull in the corner there.
Contest of 6 3-minute rounds.
And Michael Ballingall, possibly.
The black shorts with a silver trim. Weighing today at 12 stone and 1 pound. It is 51st professional contest from Middleton, Lancashire, Daryll Sharp. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing a claret and blue shorts. Weighing today at 11 stone and 11.5 pounds. With a record of 4 victories and 1 draw from 5 professional contests. From Kent, Sean Phillips.
It's actually Martin Bowers from the famous Bowers family who own and run things at the Peacock Gym in Canning Town. The head man in the corner there.
From Hawley. This is a super middleweight contest of 6 3-minute rounds.
Well, this one contested over 6 threes. Sean Phillips looking to go up through the round. You hear when he got welcomed there. He's got fantastic support.
Yeah, he's a West Ham lad, clearly, as you can tell for the claret and blue shorts, and not surprised, and he should be vociferously supported.
Saw him here last year at Bethnal Green. He won the fight, but he had a little bit of a dip in the 3rd round. He got tagged by one, but as you can see here, great technique, good boxer, but Daryll Sharp, as I said, 45 defeats, but he's only been stopped once. That was by Liam Williams, just as he was coming off the back of that defeat to Liam Smith. So he smelt blood, and he's a really classy operator. Daryll Sharp will take some breaking down here. This is a really interesting test for young Sean Phillips. Quite a big height differentiation. Daryll Sharp, 5'8", but a southpaw, and we all know that they can prove a challenge at any level.
Yeah, I think it all depends. Some traditionally orthodox fighters don't like to face portsiders. Occasionally you get a guy who says, no, I don't mind them, or I actually quite like them. We'll see what kind of fighter Sean Phillips is in that regard.
Nice work to the body there from Phillips, but back comes Daryll Sharp. Shake of the head there.
Contempt expressed for the punches of Sean Phillips.
Even has the audacity to adjust his shorts while he takes a Phillips jab.
I suppose Daryll Sharp has that kind of predisposition to thinking that he's the man against the boy. Probably his psychology here.
Lead right there from Phillips, follows it up with the left. Another shake of the hand from Sharp. I know that's all part of the gamesmanship, but you've got to put that out of your mind, haven't you? Because if you let it get to you, especially if you're an inexperienced fighter, it really can change things. But again, Phillips goes high, then low, and then covers up to get some air back in those lungs.
Tagged with a right hook from the southpaw, sorry, from the orthodox stance there from Sharp. Back southpaw again now. He does seem to have a thing about that shorts adjusting gesture, Dave.
Maybe he's lost a bit of weight and they're too big.
Could be the case, yeah. Whether he's genuinely happy with where they're hanging or whether it's just a mannerism, I don't know.
Boxers do have some strange mannerisms. But 50 fights in, you'd expect Daryll Sharp to be a little bit more settled.
And you'd think he'd already sussed out where the belt line, you know, where he liked to have it.
Final 10 seconds of round number 1. Sean Phillips in the West Ham coloured shorts with the gold trim. Daryll Sharp in the black. Stares Phillips down. You've got to admire that from somebody like Daryll Sharp, because he comes here knowing exactly the role he's supposed to play, but he's not taken a backward step in that first round.
No, he's a positive away fighter, isn't he? You know, his whole approach, and I'm sure he's one of those journeymen who would love to upset the apple cart if he gets a chance to get lucky. If Sean Phillips makes a mistake, exposes his chin, I think you would see a guy like Daryll Sharp try and take full advantage of that, because the thing is, although economically they tend to be more popular when they get the short end, the fact is they also have the border control on the other side, and they do need a win every now and then, and sometimes they will take it against a green, you know, prospect.
And it keeps fighters like Sean Phillips honest as well, because he's obviously got a lot of potential, obviously trains very well, and to be undefeated for 5 fights, he's got something about him. But you can't take anything for granted, and Daryll Sharp certainly isn't letting him. He's got 5 professional victories, and 3 of those 5 have been taking people's undefeated records. Adam Ishmael was 9-0, Chris Monaghan 4-0, John Telford 4-0 as well. So he'd love to be the first one against Sean Phillips. One Sean Phillips rings around York Hall. It's in the contest here, another shake of the head from Daryll Sharp, 30 seconds into round number 2. Nice work to the body as well, leading with that left hand, then coming around the corner with the right to the ribs. Better from Phillips though.
Yeah, some crisp accurate punching from Phillips in this round. He's looking for the straight right hand, which is traditionally the shot that you look for with a southpaw. Right uppercut from Phillips, gets a good shot.
Yeah, look at the way Sharp comes back though.
Yeah.
Eats that, then 3 or 4.
He's not one of these tuck up and hide kind of journeymen, absolutely not.
Of course, somebody who travels to fight as much as Sharp does, his fitness level's always there. It's the first go at 6 rounds for Sean Phillips. Doesn't seem to be using all the tools that he has though. He's got 5 inches of height here over Sharp, 6'1" to 5'8". He's got lots of reach as well. But Daryll Sharp's been able to get in close just like this now.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dave. I think he is better off keeping it long, Sean Phillips, keeping it at distance. Otherwise going to allow the Daryll Sharp to use his strength, his man's strength against the kid. And he's doing that now. He's trying to rough him up.
Wrestling him round. Oh, just walking straight in. Well, is this going to open Daryll Sharp up for Sean Phillips to attack?
I don't think Sean Phillips needs to be dragged into any kind of war. I'm pretty sure that's what Martin would tell him in the corner as well.
Yeah, nice from Phillips. Slightly off balance when he threw that right hand. Couldn't follow up his good work. And
sometimes you need to get your jab going, even though they're a southpaw and your jab is traditionally blocked or taken out the game by a southpaw to a degree. You still need to get busy with your jab sometimes. You can't just keep looking for straight right hands at a southpaw, because they know that anyway.
Towards the end of that round there in the corner, Sean Phillips threw 3 or 4 that Daryll Sharp just absorbed, and then came back and cuffed him with the right hand. I think the away fighter senses something this evening.
I think, like I say, he will be looking to get lucky. They're not ordinarily trying to win on points even. They're trying to let the kid spend himself a little bit and see if they can make him make a mistake and take advantage, and see if they can get an early shower.
2 rounds in, really interesting bout this between Sean Phillips and Daryll Sharp. But he's got some experienced old heads, as you mentioned, in his corner, Sean Phillips.
Yeah, Ray Bull was a coach at the legendary Fisher Club for a long time. And Martin Bowers should need no introduction to boxing people. You know, him and his brother Tony have ran the Peacock for many, many years, and they worked with a lot of championship level fighters and champions. Lead right starts the round for Sean Phillips.
Yeah, I think he just needs to stamp his authority on this one, and as you said, keep it long. That's exactly what he did with that lead right.
I mean, he looks a well-schooled fighter, Sean Phillips, who has that kind of hallmark of a decent amateur pedigree, and I think he needs to just keep it by the book. He doesn't need to get this. This is better for him. I'm pretty sure Martin will have told us what we're saying in the corner. Yeah. And he looks to be employing it now.
Box at his own pace.
Yeah. That's better. See the distance now. He's taking that half step back, the step back for him before. He was getting a bit involved with him in the second round.
And that's exactly what Daryll Sharp wants.
Yeah.
You don't have 50 professional bouts unless you like a fight, and that's what Sean Phillips gave him in the first 2 rounds. Here's the first flurry from Sharp in the third.
And you see every time he lets a combination off now, he's taking the step back, Sean Phillips, rather than getting too close to him. This is better.
A lot more clever from Sean Phillips in this third round. Backs Sharp up onto the ropes, but he uses those as leverage to get in close.
Because he has to be in close to have any degree of success, really, against this kid, Sharp. And that's why he's calling him on.
Yeah, it worked in the first couple of rounds, but Phillips a lot wiser to it now. Just over a minute of round 3 to go. That'll take it to the halfway point as Sharp flies in with the left hand. Oh, nice lead right again from Phillips, but it's as if every time Daryll Sharp gets tagged, he pounces into life.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's called keeping the home fighter honest.
Yeah, lovely jab there from Phillips. Work from Sharp, glances off the gloves. As you said at the start of the round there, does look a well-trained fighter, covers up well, completely different. Oh, both exchanging right hands there.
It was a nice straight right from Sean Phillips, and then he clocked a southpaw right hook by way of reprisal.
And that takes us to the halfway point of the bout. Another interesting round. Just going back to that style of Sean Phillips, what in Great Britain certainly we'd call a more traditional style, certainly in defence. We saw Ramon Perez in the previous fight, something completely different. And it's difficult to say which is more effective, but certainly when you're under the pump, you'd much rather, if you were in the corner, your man having a good defence like that who can cover himself up and protect himself from anything coming on.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Phillips looks like a classically well-schooled British amateur boxer, like you say. You know, I'm not sure what he did in the unpaid code, but I'd be reasonably confident he had maybe 50-odd bouts in the amateurs. You know, and he's got that textbook style. You need to make certain adjustments when you turn pro. You need to sit down on your shots a bit more, but you know, he looks like he's got that pedigree from the amateurs.
Seconds out, round 4.
Well, certainly from a promoter's perspective, Sean Phillips is the man you want. Looks stylish. He's already got a great following. But it's important that he shines on nights like tonight when he comes under scrutiny from tough operators like Daryll Sharp. But in terms of scoring, after 3 rounds, I'd have Phillips slightly ahead.
Sure, I suspect he may have shaded every round on the card of referee Mark Bates.
He just covers up, takes a few to the body around the corner. Not necessarily in that danger zone, more glancing off the rib cage. But I think after that second round, Sean Phillips realised he could deal with Daryll Sharp's power. Since then, he's looked much more confident, and a clean body shot and the right hook to follow it up from Phillips. And the lead right again. Sharp just slowing down a little bit. His hands a bit lower. Sean Phillips having a bit more joy with the jab, as we've just seen again there.
He's starting to get into a rhythm now, Sean Phillips, and he's finding the range better for his shots. And again,
really
very
nice.
accurate.
Sharp has to cover up. Again, tries to wrestle Phillips to the corner. It's a couple through in the clinch as well, does Sharp.
He's looking like he fancies this that little bit less now, Sharp.
It's interesting, isn't it? We talk about Phillips going up through the rounds from 4 to 6. Some fighters look more comfortable the longer the fight goes on, and this is the case here for Phillips this evening. Yeah,
he's growing into this little task. I mean, he was ahead in any case, but now this has been his best round yet, and he's really finding the range with his combinations. Nice stone wall defence against that.
No way through
attack.
For Sharp.
No.
Daryll Sharp still getting plenty of encouragement from the corner. Looks like he's starting to breathe pretty heavy now. Sean Phillips has asked a lot more difficult questions in this latest round. That takes us to the close. Well, 4 rounds in for Sean Phillips, and finally looks to have settled into that rhythm. He's imposing himself on Daryll Sharp.
He is, yeah. He seems to have sussed out what he needs to do with him. He's keeping his distance, and he's finding a range for his shots, you know. And he's jabbing more, like I said, because just because you're supposed to throw a straight right hand against a southpaw, you can't only throw that and expect to be successful, because southpaws are massively aware that that's the shot that you fancy against them. So you need to use your left hand in a variety of ways, you know, to make a way for that.
2 rounds of this one remaining. Sean Phillips versus Daryll Sharp.
Round 5.
He starts the round with a lead right.
He loves the lead right, yeah.
Just as the bell rings, yeah. And then back to the jab. That's not a bad shout, to try and hit him straight away with a lead right hand.
Yeah, statement of intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's looking to control the middle of the ring. I like this from Sean Phillips.
Yeah, the kid looks like a good fighter, a good prospect.
If he spends a lot of time at middleweight, super middleweight, he's 6'1", he's got a good build for it. But very often it's about being able to control fights, isn't it? As you go up through the levels. Wasn't necessarily able to do that in the first 2 rounds, but certainly looks like he can do it now. Another test that's so far been passed by this promising youngster from Gravesend. Listen to the crowd now, they absolutely love him. That was one of the things that stood out the last time I saw him. It was here in York Hall. Very important to have the public on your side if you're going to have a successful career.
Well, and not so much the public at this stage, so much as your own fan base and following, which hopefully extends to the public when your momentum is sufficient, you know.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If he fights 3 or 4 times a year, they've all got to put their hands in their pocket to come and see him.
Sure, and he lifts him up there. Daryll Sharp.
Well, it was England versus Ireland in the Six Nations today. I felt like Daryll Sharp a little
Might have
bit
seen
more
that.
on the rugby field as Sean Phillips.
This is good work though from Sean Phillips. He's finding a range.
Yeah, not throwing too many shots either. It's easy to gas yourself out when you're on the front foot. Sharp still standing though, once again adjusts his trunks for unleashing a body shot that Phillips wears to the abs. Nice again from Phillips. Sharp defending well, covering up, and there was a groan around York Hall then as a jab got through from Sharp.
He's looking a little tired now and blowing a little bit as he adjusts the shorts for the umpteenth time. And again.
You see now, we noticed it when Phillips missed with the jab. Sometimes Sharp is almost looking to get under the jab and just wrap Phillips straight away. He's almost moving forward before the shot's been thrown. He's holding on here. This is another good round from Phillips. Solid left.
Daryll Sharp is feeling the pace now, no question.
Well, Phillips's levels have gone up and up and up through the rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what you call an impressive performance against a journeyman and an experienced guy who can be a danger man on his night, Dave. That's what you look for when you see a kid like this who's up against an opponent like Daryll Sharp. You suspect he might not be able to stop him, but you want to see what he can do and what he can show you. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's very difficult sometimes, isn't it? Especially as you get into the latter rounds, anywhere past the halfway point, where Daryll Sharp kind of went for it. He really felt Sean Phillips out in those opening 6 minutes. But since then, he's tried to defend, and it's so difficult to break down a man who's covering up. Sean Phillips would almost have more chance of stopping somebody who really came to fight, somebody who really believed that he could beat him over 6 rounds.
The more ambitious an opponent is, he also present more opportunities for you offensively. Almost certainly.
Yeah, Phillips really getting through nicely now with that jab. Suggestion of one to the back of the head there from Daryll Sharp. Phillips doesn't complain again. Finds himself with both feet in the air.
He's trying to impose that man's strength on him at this point.
He's been a game opponent as Daryll Sharp.
I'd say he's fighting like a guy who actually wants to win, Dave, which is not always the remit or the case with the what we call the away corner.
And now Phillips looks like he wants to put on a show for the supporters here. It's a packed house at York Hall. That opens Daryll Sharp up. Interesting there from Sean Phillips, though. He spent a lot of these clinch moments being pushed around by Daryll Sharp, but that time it was him
imposing himself. This has been a good outing for Sean Phillips, you know. He'll have learned something from it.
Daryll Sharp, tough old competitor. It's 51st professional bout compared to the 6th for Phillips. As he looks for that Hail Mary left hand, Sharp steps out of range. Again, they meet in the middle. It's almost like Sharp had rounds 3, 4 and 5 off, because in the first, the second and the 6th, really has gone for it. As he
And that's the thing, Dave. These journeymen don't train with the same regularity and consistency that the ambitious kids do. But they tend to stay fit by fighting. They go for the odd run. Some of them don't even train in the gym, so they do have to pace themselves.
Yeah, you've got to sit naturally at that weight, haven't you?
Yeah, we're waiting for the phone to ring.
Hence the reason we see a 5'8" Daryll Sharp and a 6'1" Sean Phillips, because he'll have had this fight in mind Although he'll probably be looking out to get another 3 or 4 fights this year, so he certainly won't want to fluctuate that much. Get himself to maybe 8, 9, 10 undefeated, and then look towards the southern area perhaps.
Sure. I think ideally if they can box every 8 weeks, it would suit the agenda of most prospects. As you know, sometimes it's an economic factor whether you can sell the tickets that regularly or not. And I think he's got the following, they can do that.
Final few seconds of this one, a good 6-round outing. Really entertaining bout, actually.
Decent little fight.
Big smile on the face of Daryll Sharp as he takes out the mouthguard. Goes over to Sean Phillips' corner. He was 5 fights undefeated before this one, Sean Phillips. As we go to the scorecards, can you see it being any different?
I'd be astonished if it turned out differently and the script was wrecked on this occasion, Dave. And I do think you'll see a 60-54 card from Mark Bates on merit. I think the kid in the red corner probably did win every round. That's not to minimise the contribution or the effort of Daryll Sharp, who obviously loves what he does for a living, and he does come to win, and he provides stern opposition.
It's another one in the bank for Daryll Sharp. Still just been stopped the once, and that was by arguably a world-level fighter. But Sean Phillips and Daryll Sharp touch gloves, and we go to the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, referee Bates scores the contest 60 points to 54 points. Your winner and still unbeaten, Sean Phillips.
The unanimous decision again, exactly as you expected. Did enough at times, looked excellent at others. Sean Phillips, another one to watch as we move into 2019.
Yeah.